The restaurant was warm with soft gold lights hanging like old memories in winter air. Music played from a small speaker near the counter and it sounded like songs people used to dance to at weddings long ago. Elias Turner was 42 years old. He sat carefully at the table holding a coffee cup with both hands. He always held cups that way since his wife passed 10 years earlier. Heat helped steady him. He worked long days at a small repair shop and nights belonged to his son Malik, who was 12 and loved astronomy and peanut butter toast at midnight. Elias wore a simple gray sweater and he looked at the menu but did not really read it. He was waiting for a client who never arrived. Being stood up was not new to him. Life had stood him up before. He believed time changes a man. But grief shapes a man. Across the room a woman in a red blouse stepped toward his table. Her name was Lillian Brooks. She was 34 years old and owner of the technology company across the street. She was known in the city as decisive and unafraid. Yet tonight she moved slowly. She had watched Elias for several evenings from her office window. He would walk his son to the bus stop. He would kneel to fix the boy's scarf. He would wave until the bus turned the corner. There was patience in him and gentleness she had not seen in powerful men she met in meetings. She stood beside his table. He looked up surprised. She leaned forward slightly and gently lifted his chin so he would meet her eyes. Her voice was soft. "Can you be my husband?" Elias blinked twice. For a moment he thought he misheard. Life had not offered him romance in many years. It had offered Bill's school meetings and quiet nights folding laundry. "I believe you have the wrong person," he said quietly. She smiled. "No, I believe I found the right person late." He sat still. He was a careful man. He had learned promises could hurt children more than adults. "Why me?" She pulled the chair across from him and sat. "Because you look at people not through them. Because you carry sadness but you still choose kindness. Because I am tired of rooms full of applause but empty of warmth." Elias felt a memory rise. His late wife had once said success is loud but love is quiet. He swallowed. "You do not know my life," he said. "Then tell me," she answered. He spoke slowly. "I wake before sunrise. I pack lunches. I fix broken radios and cracked screens. I listen to a boy talk about stars while I pretend I understand constellations. I fall asleep in a chair most nights. I have little money and no time for parties." Lillian listened without interrupting. "That sounds like a life, not a problem." He shook his head gently. "A child needs stability. I cannot promise dinners in fancy places. I cannot promise travel." She looked around the restaurant. "I grew up above a small grocery store. My father counted coins every night. My mother hummed while cooking soup. We never traveled and yet I remember warmth. Success came later but warmth came first." Elias felt something soften. "Still, this is sudden." She nodded. "I lost my mother last spring. I built companies to feel control. But grief does not respect schedules. I realized I had built walls instead of a home." Silence rested between them. It was not uncomfortable. It was thoughtful. A waiter placed 2 cups of tea without asking. He had watched them and sensed a moment. Lillian wrapped her hands around the cup. "I am not asking for a fairy tale. I am asking for partnership. I see you, Elias. Not your salary, not your clothes, not your doubts." He looked at the steam rising. "My son comes first." "Good," she replied. "Children teach us patience." He smiled faintly. "He has never met a CEO." "Then he will meet a neighbor," she said. Outside snow began to fall lightly. Elias remembered winters from his childhood. He and his brother sliding on cardboard down small hills. No phones, no rush, only laughter and cold fingers. "We forget simple joys as we age," he said. "We chase bigger things." Lillian nodded. "My office has glass walls but no one stays to talk after work. I miss hearing stories from older people. I miss porch conversations. My grandmother used to say love is not fireworks. It is a lamp left on for you," he said. "Yes," she whispered. They talked for a long time. About childhood radios. About handwritten letters. About how people once knocked on doors instead of sending messages. Elias told her about Malik building a telescope from scrap pipes. Lillian listened with shining eyes. "May I meet him?" she asked gently. Elias paused. He studied her face. There was ambition but also care. He had learned maturity means not fearing second chances but protecting hearts wisely. "We start with friendship," he said. She smiled warmly. Friendship lasts longer than excitement. Weeks passed. She visited the repair shop. She brought old vinyl records for Elias to fix a player. Malik asked her questions about computers. She answered patiently and never checked her phone. One evening they ate dinner at his small kitchen table. Malik laughed loudly at a story she told about burning her first cake as a child. Elias watched and felt a peace he had not known in years. Later Malik whispered, "Dad, she listens." Elias nodded. "Yes, she does." Months went by. No rush, no pressure. Just walks in the park and tea on cold nights. She attended his son's school science fair. He attended her company charity event and stood quietly at the back. She once said, "Strength is not how loud you speak but how gently you care." One autumn evening she returned to the same restaurant. Golden lights again surrounded them. She held his hands. "I asked a question once too quickly. Today I ask with understanding." He waited calmly. "Can you be my husband?" This time he did not look away. He saw not a CEO but a woman who had learned patience. He thought of Malik smiling. He thought of his late wife who had taught him love never truly ends, it grows in new directions. "Yes," he said softly. Her eyes filled with tears. Not loud joy but peaceful relief. "Life after 50 is about companionship, not perfection," he told her. About sharing silence and morning coffee. She squeezed his hand. About building a home, not a performance. Snow began falling again outside. Inside warmth surrounded them. Two people not searching for youth but for comfort. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe and comment. Your support keeps gentle stories alive.